Good morning, everyone. Welcome to O4PAC. I'm Henri Porta, the editor-in-chief of Emballage magazine. I will have pleasure during the week of running the lab for a show devoted to startups and packaging. We're going to talk about all the issues, camembert for pallets. We're going to talk about new ways to consume water with water bottle. We're going to talk about quality control, QC, and the common thread running through this is, of course, startups. With my two guests who I welcome here, Emile Charcot from Thomas Mignard. We worked on an innovation which is unparalleled and revolutionary, which we called and christened the Camembert 4.0. It was a project which was very innovative. We made the cover of Emballage magazine and a feature called Changes in Digital World to show that the industry today will be upended by digital technology, starting with the creation itself of the design. We're going to go and see in more detail how you can get a Camembert 4.0. Emile Charcot, you founded Irisis, and Thomas Mignard, you created the SKWARE company. What are your industry? What is your business all about? It's a company Irisis set up in 2014, specializes in the link between smell, odors, and emotions, and smells and colors. We patented a process which makes it possible today to transform any smell into color and vice versa. It's a technology which is exclusive worldwide. We're the only one to patent this, to model this bond between smell, odors, colors, and emotions by combining neurosciences and IT modeling. We can generate colors which are matching the perception and the smell. Is it neurosciences, cognitive science? We're talking about neurosciences. The research is the understanding of the bond, demonstrating the bond, understanding of the impact on the bond. We worked in France, but also abroad in the U.S. and Asia, in the Middle East, to better understand the link and set up databases which contain 25,000 pieces of data to get this modeling which works like clockwork from the chemical analysis of any product. It's a robust modeling, of course, very robust indeed. Scientifically, what does it bring to the party? You combine different areas in the brain. We have a behavioral area, a test where we ask people to associate odors and colors, and neurobiological part where we understand at the cortex what are the areas involved and why there's a link. What can explain cerebrally that when you see colors, you're going to get a smell created spontaneously, whatever your personality. And so areas of the brains light up. Yeah, we're carrying out a lot of MRI studies to see how the areas of the brain are organized, and now colors will lead to smells. You founded the company SKWARE. You got a prize. What is your industry? What's your business, sir? Good morning. SKWARE, we are specializing in the making of storage systems, which are trays or racks and composite racks, which are used in all the hostile agribusiness environments, medical environments, pharmaceutical environments, and a lot of other domains. You launched a piece of research showing that your composite material withstands better corrosion compared to other materials. What are these materials all about? Of course, today, composite materials were reserved to very precise, very specific, very high-end business like aeronautics or boats, but they are developed strongly because of the car industry, and they will be popularized more and more in many uses. They are very resistant to impact, resilient. We have aircraft made of composite materials, 100%, and in addition, they withstand humidity, moisture. They resist chemical attacks, sold with the same mechanical resistance as metal. Your activity is doing quite well. Yeah, business is booming. The company is 3 years old. We're growing very strongly. We're positioned only on agribusiness, agri-food for retailers and for industrialists, and we're doing quite well. Thank you, sir. Now, how are you going to shift from neurosciences to storage racks? Obviously, the commonality is the data capture. The 4.0 project is born of the relationships of two companies having two different expertise sets. SKWARE developed with its teams data capture solutions to track the storage air-conditioned rack on an iPhone or a tablet. Yes, our calling is to store products in a hostile environment, but also our vision is to participate in improving the product to be stored in our racks. And we're developing some technologies, therefore, to get better knowledge of the product, which is stored. To date, we started with having racks which can measure the humidity and temperature. It's connected storage, yes, indeed. And the idea is to say, with the technology developed by Muriel and Miracy, her company, we can get a better knowledge of the product which is stored, and on the spaces help people in the production in terms of color differences to see the maturity of storage, the impact of storage on their life cycle, and down to the packaging. So we're going to get down to the camembert 4.0. What can you do with the data? What data do you need to build your aromatic smell profile? The Melifis process works with like chemistry and IT modeling. Thomas's racks will supply chemical data. Basically, we worked on the release of ammonia. The idea, what is ammonia? It's a composite, volatile composite, VOC, used to model colors. Ammonia can do this. Ammonia can characterize a camembert. Yes, you can characterize the level of ripening of the camembert, of the cheese, which will release ammonia. We're going to use the data, chemical data, to develop packaging corresponding to the level of ripening of the cheese. Let me summarize. We have the aromatic profile capture, analysis of ammonia, and you are running the data to set up the color profile from the olfactive data. Their entry data, yes. What do you do with the camembert 4.0? It's possible to print a label whose colors will tell about the ripening of the camembert, of the cheese. It's a cheese made in Normandy. People like different taste. You like young, ripened camembert or ready camembert. So the label will indicate the maturity. Yes, the idea of the camembert cheese is you have a lot of people opening the boxes to look at their ripening level to have a product corresponding to their taste. We want to avoid people opening the box to work on the colors, which will tell the consumer what's the ripening level of the cheese. We prepared a simulation on a tablet showing the process itself. Muriel, can you screen it? That's the second phase, namely racks were set up. Sensors are working. We get information from sensors. That's the first sensor. You can see automatically the chromatic wheel starts. It's a camembert which is young. We're talking about real colors of the camembert. We have the listing of aromas making up the camembert, And you can also assess how the camembert will ripen, or its predictive ripening. The aroma is not the right one you looked for. You can see how the camembert will evolve over time, and you can see that colors are changing and the level of aromas making of the camembert will also change. Another sensor, the different level of ripening and aging, and colors are changing, and colors also are changing based on the composition. The colorimetry wheel has a lot of shades making it up. Each of the shade will correspond to a bouquet. The idea is through the perception of the colors to really imagine what will be the taste of the cheese at the end. So the scientific claim is that the consumers, by seeing the color of the label, will know precisely what cheese is going to buy. Yes, she will not need to open the pack, but right away will understand that this chromatic wheel is a camembert which is more ripened than others. Thank you, Muriel. Thomas, who's buying your equipment? Industrialists, cheese makers, distributors, cooperatives? Well, let me add that the interest goes beyond the packaging, because today a maker of camembert cheese will need to steer the ripening process to control the cheese will lose water, so you can get more efficient production, and you can better control the ripening process and sell the cheese at the right time. We will really. It makes it possible for us to scan all the process from the time that the cheese is put in the cellar, and you can then customize the product down to the consumer plate. This colorimetry profile can be displayed on a video screen, and you can follow and track visually the ripening of the cheese. It's a revolution and a breakthrough innovation worldwide. It was never made or done before. Muriel, we talked about the creation of your company, Méricis. You've been working on cheese first, and originally you were to try to do something which was incredible. Yes, indeed, I did this research within the INSAIA, the agronomy school and agribusiness food, and we studied cheese way back when, to show that the consumer could understand what was hiding between chromatic colors. It was the starting point of this great adventure today, and it was the first demonstration that colors could represent a chromatic or an olfactive profile. In the department, people are accustomed to feeling or tasting or smelling the cheese. Yes, in 2004, we wanted to see how you could put the camembert in a box which could no longer be opened. But the customer would get information on the level of ripening of the cheese. We're going to talk about active and passive and smart packaging. That's the field of smart packaging. And it's easy to make it active. If the label tells you in real time the ripening of a cheese, it could continue to age in the department. It's possible with electronic tags to get labels or tags whose colors change. It's a new field for research which is opening up. How can this innovation develop, and what type of outlets, market outlets, are you looking at? Well, you just need people who are motivated, who dare work differently, who dare design their packaging differently, who want to highlight the quality. At Méricis, my company, we are highlighting the quality of the product, working on colors to communicate the sensory qualities and guarantee customer satisfaction. The idea really is to promote repurchase by setting up this. And Thomas, on your side, so you want to supply more service to your customers and keep tabs on the ripening of agribusiness. We talked about cheese, but all the products are concerned in real time and bring added value in data analysis, of course, in the control of production procedures. And our calling is to provide solutions so that the customer may, our customer, and the customer may get benefits at every step of the way. Let's assume a cheesemaker is high tech. In a cheese-making facility, he could get your solutions, integrate a digital printer. He will set up a printer. He will do this at his facility. The consumer can get the right label, or the cheesemaker can prepare the different cheeses for sale at different stages of ripening. Yes, exactly. Yes. We're one step away. We're waiting for the cheesemaker to do something. We're ready. It's quite complex. You call upon neurosciences. Do you need like a learning curve to understand what we're talking about? Oh, yes. The company has been set up for 2 years ago. How many years of research? 12 years of research were involved. Yes. Today we're starting to reap the fruits. You had to popularize and spread the gospel. Yes, indeed, we experiment daily this bond between odors and colors. Now, using it is another kettle of fish. It will take more time, but now we're starting really to see the achievements made. People are coming to see us and say, yes, indeed, I want to develop packaging differently. Therefore, it is getting in the minds of people, and it's becoming a reflex to say, if I choose my right color, it's going to be okay. The data you're supplying will add to the work of the designer, helping the designer to create. Yes, we're complementary. Mercis is not a design agency. Our work consists in working on colors and interpretation of colors on the part of the designer. Sometimes is grateful for our work because you can justify your choices as a designer. It's something which is objective, based on hard data, and the designer will have, of course, to work on is our art. And the wheels are quite right. We have a lot of colors available to work on this. Thomas, the connected rack of tomorrow. Do you have RFID, a QR code, chromatographer? What do you have? What do you have? Well, today you got RFID, of course, electronic tagging, infrared tagging. We have a market which is more and more mature for connected objects. We hear about this a lot. I guess there's we got to now roll out and deploy the solutions, and afterwards we'll have unknown technologies coming to pass. The challenge is the ease of use, ease of installation, the ease of use of the product. It's not plug and play, but plug and store. Yes, exactly. It should be easy to use, and it should be robust. Thank you all. Thank you, Muriel and Jaco. I guess we'll have information on your website, of course. And Thomas, likewise, thank you all. And this is the birth of the Camembert 4.0 to be found in every fine stores. As of tomorrow, we're sure about this. It was the first show devoted to Innovation Lab, Startup Generations, and see you tomorrow for the second show. Thank you all. Thank you, Muriel and Thomas, for your contribution, and have a great show. Have a great business.